Something is watching us from the darkness between the stars, and the evidence has been hiding in plain while we scan the cosmos, desperately searching for alien life. What if they've been here all along, following strict rules never to interfere? Ancient texts speak of watchers from the sky. Unexplained technologies appear throughout history, and their planet sits in what scientists call a suspiciously quiet corner of space. We are about to explore the zoo hypothesis, examine impossible archaeological discoveries, investigate the mathematical probability of galactic civilizations, and uncover why first contact might be intentionally delayed. Please like and subscribe, because this journey will change how you see our place in the universe. Prepare yourselves, we begin. Every night, 200 billion stars burn across our galaxy alone, and yet the universe remains deadly silent. For over 60 years, we've aimed our most powerful radio telescopes toward the heavens, listening for any whisper of intelligent life. We've scanned thousands of star systems, analyzed millions of signals, and searched through decades of cosmic noise. The result is always the same. Nothing. Complete radio silence from a galaxy that should be teeming with civilizations far older and more advanced than our own. Think about this mathematically. Our galaxy formed over 13 billion years ago. Earth is only 4.5 billion years old, making us cosmic teenagers in galactic terms. Countless star systems had billions of years to develop life before our planet even existed. If just 1% of suitable planets developed intelligent life, and if just 1% of those civilizations survived long enough to send radio signals, we should detect hundreds of thousands of transmissions right now. The silence becomes even stranger when you consider technological growth rates. Human civilization went from horse-drawn carriages to space stations in less than 200 years. An alien species with just 1,000-year head start would possess technology that seems like magic to us. A civilization 1,000,000 years older would be so advanced that their capabilities would be utterly incomprehensible. Yet we hear nothing at all. Scientists call this the Fermi paradox, named after physicist Enrico Fermi, who famously asked, "Where is everybody?" The math demands that advanced civilizations should exist throughout our galaxy. The evidence suggests they simply don't. This contradiction has puzzled researchers for decades because both sides of the equation seem absolutely certain. Some scientists propose that intelligent life destroys itself before achieving interstellar communication. Others suggest that space travel between stars is impossible, keeping civilizations trapped on their homeworlds. These explanations feel incomplete, though, because they require every single advanced species across billions of years to follow the exact same pattern of failure. Picture our galaxy as a vast city with millions of apartment buildings. According to our best calculations, thousands of those buildings should have lights on, music playing, and clear signs of life. Instead, we see only darkness and hear only silence from every single window. The emptiness feels deliberate, almost orchestrated. Radio waves travel at the speed of light, meaning signals from nearby star systems should reach us within years or decades. We've been listening since 1960, giving civilizations within 60 light years plenty of time to respond to our earliest broadcasts. That search radius includes thousands of star systems, many with planets in the habitable zone where liquid water can exist. The silence suggests three possibilities. Either we're completely alone in a galaxy of dead worlds. Every civilization destroys itself before achieving radio technology, or something is preventing us from hearing what's really out there. But what if the silence itself is the answer, and we're living inside a carefully maintained bubble of cosmic quiet? Deep in the jungles of Peru, massive stone blocks weighing over 100 tons fit together so perfectly that you cannot slide a piece of paper between them. The ancient site of Sacsayhuaman contains walls built from stones so precisely cut and positioned that modern engineers struggle to understand how they were moved, let alone shaped with such accuracy. These aren't simple rectangular blocks. Each stone has multiple sides with complex angles that lock together like three-dimensional puzzle pieces. The joints between them create patterns so intricate that mapping them requires advanced computer software. Local legends claim these structures were built by giants who could move stones with their minds. Mainstream archaeology attributes them to the Inca civilization, who supposedly used copper tools and wooden rollers to transport blocks weighing more than 60 cars combined. The Inca were master builders, but they had no iron tools, no wheels, and no written language to preserve engineering knowledge. Consider the logistics alone. Some stones at Sacsayhuaman originated from quarries 20 miles away across mountainous terrain. Moving a single 100-ton block today requires massive cranes, specialized trailers, and carefully planned routes on modern highways. The ancient builders somehow transported dozens of these megaliths across rough landscape using technology that archaeologists claim was more primitive than medieval European construction methods. The precision becomes even more mysterious when you examine the cutting techniques. Each stone surface is smooth as polished glass, with corners so sharp they could cut paper. Creating such finishes on granite requires diamond-tipped tools and high-speed machinery. Copper chisels and stone hammers should leave rough surfaces with visible tool marks, yet these ancient walls show none. Similar impossible stonework appears across the globe. At Baalbek in Lebanon, foundation stones weigh over 800 tons each. In Egypt, the Great Pyramid contains granite blocks, quarried 500 miles away and positioned with astronomical precision. Easter Island statues weighing up to 80 tons somehow walked across the island according to local traditions. Each civilization left behind the same calling card. Massive stones moved impossible distances and fitted with supernatural precision. Then they all vanished, leaving no written records explaining their construction techniques. It says if master builders appeared worldwide, created their monuments, and then deliberately erased themselves from history. Carbon dating and archaeological evidence suggest these sites were built by different cultures separated by thousands of years and thousands of miles. Yet the construction techniques remain virtually identical. Ancient builders worldwide somehow independently discovered the same impossible methods for moving and shaping massive stones. Think of it like finding identical iPhones buried in medieval castles across different continents. The technology doesn't match the supposed capabilities of the builders. The mathematical precision extends beyond just heavy lifting. Many ancient sites align perfectly with star positions, solstices, and other astronomical events. Creating such alignments requires knowledge of complex mathematics and long-term celestial observation that supposedly didn't exist when these monuments were built. But what if these weren't primitive civilizations at all, and someone else entirely was guiding their impossible achievements? In 1886, Carl Benz invented the first practical automobile with a top speed of 10 miles per hour. And just 83 years later, humans walked on the moon. This represents the most explosive technological growth in recorded history. Think about the magnitude of this leap. In less than a single human lifetime, we went from horse-drawn carriages to rocket ships capable of escaping Earth's gravity. We progressed from candles and oil lamps to nuclear power plants. We advanced from handwritten letters to global instant communication networks spanning the entire planet. The timeline becomes even more staggering when you zoom in on specific breakthroughs. The Wright brothers achieved powered flight in 1903. Just 66 years later, Apollo 11 landed on lunar soil. That's barely enough time for 2 generations to pass. Yet we somehow mastered atmospheric flight, jet propulsion, rocket engines, space navigation, life support systems, and interplanetary communication. Compare this to previous technological progress throughout human history. Agriculture took thousands of years to spread globally. The wheel was invented around 500 BCE and remained virtually unchanged for over 5,000 years. Writing systems developed slowly over centuries, with gradual improvements in materials and techniques. For most of human civilization, technological advancement crawled at a pace barely noticeable within individual lifetimes. A person born in 1000 CE would die in a world using essentially identical tools, transportation, and communication methods. Meaningful changes required multiple centuries to take hold and spread between cultures. Then something shifted dramatically around 1750, and human progress exploded exponentially. The Industrial Revolution launched a cascade of innovations that accelerated with each decade. Steam engines led to railroads. Telegraph systems enabled rapid long-distance communication. Photography captured permanent images. Electricity illuminated cities and powered machinery. Each breakthrough seemed to trigger multiple follow-up discoveries, as if someone had suddenly unlocked a sequence of technological achievements. The pattern resembles receiving step-by-step instructions rather than gradual human trial and error. Ideas appeared simultaneously in multiple locations, with different inventors independently developing identical solutions to complex problems. Consider how many fundamental discoveries happened within just a few decades of each other. Radio waves, X-rays, radioactivity, quantum theory, relativity, and atomic structure were all uncovered between 1880 and 1920. These weren't simple mechanical improvements. They represented completely new understandings of physical reality that required sophisticated mathematical frameworks. The mathematical knowledge alone should have taken centuries to develop. Calculus, advanced algebra, and complex physics principles suddenly became widespread among educated populations. Universities that taught basic arithmetic in 1700 were graduating students who understood electromagnetic theory by 1850. Modern computer technology follows the same accelerated pattern. Transistors were invented in 1947. Integrated circuits appeared in 1958. Microprocessors emerged in 1971. Personal computers became common by 1980. The internet connected the world by 1990. Smartphones put supercomputers in everyone's pocket by 2007. Each advancement built upon previous discoveries with remarkable efficiency, as if following a predetermined technological roadmap. But what if our rapid progress wasn't entirely the result of human genius, and we've been receiving carefully timed guidance from observers who know exactly how technology should develop? Imagine advanced alien civilizations treating Earth exactly like we treat Yellowstone National Park, complete with strict rules against interfering with the wildlife inside. This is the zoo hypothesis, proposed by radio astronomer John Ball in 1973 as a solution to the Fermi paradox. The theory suggests that intelligent life is abundant throughout the galaxy, but older civilizations have agreed to keep younger species like humanity in protected isolation while we develop naturally. Just as park rangers observe animals from a distance without direct contact, galactic civilizations might be watching us while maintaining strict non-interference protocols. The hypothesis solves multiple cosmic mysteries simultaneously. It explains why we haven't detected alien radio signals, despite the mathematical certainty that advanced civilizations should exist. It accounts for the strange silence surrounding our planet while allowing for a galaxy teeming with intelligent life. Most importantly, it provides a logical reason why superintelligence wouldn't immediately contact primitive species like ourselves. Consider how humans manage wildlife preserves on Earth. We established protected zones where animals can live according to their natural behaviors without human interference. Rangers monitor animal populations, study their development, and carefully control outside influences that might disrupt natural processes. Visitors must follow strict guidelines about feeding, approaching, or interacting with the wildlife. The same principles would apply on a galactic scale. Earth becomes a planetary preserve where human civilization can evolve naturally without premature exposure to advanced technology or alien cultures. Galactic authorities monitor our progress while ensuring that more developed species don't accidentally contaminate our natural development process. This framework explains why alien contact might be deliberately delayed until we reach specific developmental milestones. Just as we don't introduce wild animals to complex human technology, galactic civilizations might wait until we demonstrate readiness for cosmic citizenship. Contact too early could disrupt our natural cultural evolution or create dangerous dependencies on alien assistance. The zoo hypothesis also accounts for occasional unexplained phenomena without requiring full disclosure. Park rangers occasionally need to intervene when animals face unusual threats or when research requires closer observation. Similarly, alien observers might sometimes interact with human civilization in limited ways while maintaining overall non-interference policies. Mathematical models support the possibility of galactic coordination on this scale. Game theory suggests that advanced civilizations would naturally develop agreements about handling primitive species, since uncontrolled first contact could destabilize entire regions of space. A galaxy-wide consensus on protection protocols would benefit everyone by preventing dangerous cultural contamination. The timing makes perfect sense from a cosmic perspective. Human civilization is roughly 10,000 years old, making us cosmic infants compared to species that might have millions of years of development. We're approaching critical technological thresholds involving nuclear weapons, space travel, and artificial intelligence. These represent exactly the kinds of developmental stages that would trigger increased monitoring from protective observers. Physical evidence becomes more compelling when viewed through this framework. Unexplained aerial phenomena could represent routine monitoring activities. Ancient historical accounts of sky beings might record occasional research interventions. Archaeological anomalies could indicate past observation or minor guidance during critical developmental periods. The hypothesis predicts that contact will eventually occur once we demonstrate sufficient technological maturity and cultural stability to handle galactic citizenship responsibly. But first, we need to understand why advanced beings would even bother protecting primitive species like us, and what they might hope to gain from such careful observation. Every advanced species in the galaxy might have once been exactly where we are now, making humanity's protection a matter of cosmic moral obligation. Consider what happens when highly developed civilizations encounter primitive ones throughout human history. European contact with indigenous populations often resulted in cultural destruction, disease outbreaks, and the complete collapse of traditional ways of life. Advanced technology and foreign concepts overwhelmed societies that had no framework for understanding or integrating such dramatic changes. Galactic civilizations would face identical challenges on a much larger scale. Direct contact between species separated by millions of years of technological development could instantly destroy everything that makes younger civilizations unique. Human culture, art, philosophy, and social structures might collapse overnight when confronted with incomprehensibly advanced alien perspectives. From an advanced species viewpoint, younger civilizations represent irreplaceable repositories of unique solutions to universal problems. Each developing species explores different approaches to physics, mathematics, social organization, and creative expression. Humans might possess insights or capabilities that even superintelligent aliens find valuable or surprising. Think of it like protecting endangered languages. Each human language contains unique ways of understanding and describing reality. When a language dies, entire methods of thinking disappear forever. Similarly, each developing civilization might offer perspectives that contribute something essential to galactic knowledge and culture. Advanced beings probably remember their own primitive periods with fondness and respect. They once struggled with the same questions that puzzle humanity today. How do we organize societies fairly? What is consciousness? How do we balance individual freedom with collective responsibility? Their ancestors went through identical developmental stages before achieving galactic citizenship. Protecting younger species also serves practical purposes for advanced civilizations. Diverse perspectives fuel innovation even at super-intelligent levels. Human creativity, emotional responses, and problem-solving approaches might provide fresh insights that pure logic cannot achieve. We could offer artistic expressions, philosophical frameworks, or mathematical approaches that complement rather than duplicate existing galactic knowledge. The protection serves as a form of quality control for galactic society. Species that develop naturally tend to be more stable, creative, and psychologically healthy than those exposed to advanced technology prematurely. Natural development produces citizens who understand the value of struggle, growth, and independent achievement rather than dependence on superior alien guidance. Mathematical models suggest that galactic civilizations would benefit economically from maintaining diverse species. Younger civilizations might discover more efficient solutions to problems that the older species solve differently. Alternative approaches to energy, computation, or space travel could emerge from primitive societies thinking outside established galactic frameworks. Protection also prevents dangerous contamination that could destabilize entire galactic regions. Premature contact might trigger aggressive responses, cargo, cult behaviors, or desperate attempts to rapidly acquire advanced technology through violence or theft. Keeping primitive species isolated until they naturally develop appropriate wisdom and ethics prevents such destabilization. Advanced beings might view protection as repaying a debt to their own mysterious predecessors. Every galactic civilization probably benefited from similar protection during their own development. Maintaining the tradition ensures that future species will also have opportunities to develop naturally and contribute their unique perspectives to galactic society. The protection serves cosmic security interests as well. Species that develop independently tend to be more self-reliant and less likely to create dependencies that could become strategic vulnerabilities during galactic conflicts or crises. But if this protection system really exists, then someone must be actively monitoring our progress right now, and the evidence might be hiding in plain sight above our heads. Military pilots with top secret clearances are officially reporting objects that outperform every known aircraft on Earth by factors that seem to violate physics itself. In 2020, the United States Navy released gun camera footage showing unidentified aerial phenomena exhibiting flight characteristics impossible for conventional technology. These objects accelerate instantly without any visible propulsion systems, make right-angle turns at speeds that would destroy any human-made aircraft and dive into oceans without slowing down or creating splashes. The most compelling cases involve multiple independent confirmation sources. Radar operators track objects moving at speeds exceeding 3,000 miles per hour while changing direction instantly. Infrared cameras simultaneously record identical targets, showing no heat signatures despite their incredible velocity. Visual observers confirm the presence of craft displaying flight patterns that define known aerodynamics principles. Navy pilots describe encounters with objects that maintain perfect position relative to their aircraft despite extreme evasive maneuvers. These phenomena demonstrate controlled intelligence rather than random atmospheric events or equipment malfunctions. They respond to human aircraft presence, sometimes approaching military jets before disappearing at impossible speeds. The objects appear most frequently near sensitive military installations, nuclear facilities, and areas with advanced technology development. This pattern suggests deliberate observation rather than coincidental appearances. Someone or something is systematically monitoring human technological capabilities with particular interest in our most advanced systems. Government officials now openly acknowledge that these phenomena represent technology beyond current human capabilities. Pentagon briefings to Congress describe encounters with craft demonstrating propulsion methods that current physics cannot explain. Intelligence agencies admit they cannot determine the origin or nature of these objects despite decades of investigation. The frequency of sightings has increased dramatically since humans began developing nuclear weapons and space technology. During the Cold War, both American and Soviet military forces reported identical phenomena near missile silos and nuclear testing sites. Objects appear during critical moments in nuclear history, sometimes allegedly interfering with weapon systems in ways that prevented accidental launches. Consider the implications of sustained observation by unknown intelligences. These objects demonstrate capabilities suggesting technology thousands of years beyond current human development. Yet, they consistently avoid direct contact while maintaining obvious presence near significant human activities. The behavior resembles scientific observation protocols designed to study subjects without contaminating natural processes. Pilots describe craft that seem to anticipate their movements and respond to their intentions rather than just their actions. This suggests advanced monitoring of human consciousness or decision-making processes. The objects appear when humans are engaged in technologically significant activities, almost as if they're documenting our developmental progress. Phenomenon spans all continents and occurs in multiple languages and cultures with remarkably consistent descriptions. Independent witnesses worldwide report identical flight characteristics, appearance details, and behavioral patterns. This global consistency suggests a coordinated observation program rather than cultural folklore or mass hallucination. Modern sensor technology has eliminated most conventional explanations for these sightings. Advanced radar systems, infrared cameras, and electromagnetic sensors all confirm the presence of physical objects exhibiting impossible performance characteristics. The evidence has moved beyond eyewitness testimony to hard scientific data recorded by multiple independent instruments. International military forces maintain similar official policies of acknowledgement without explanation. Countries that rarely agree on anything uniformly admit to encounters with unexplained aerial phenomena while avoiding speculation about their origins. But the modern sightings might not represent our first contact with these mysterious observers, and ancient human records might contain detailed accounts of the same watchers throughout our entire history. This is every culture on Earth. Ancient texts describe identical encounters with mysterious beings who descended from the sky to observe human civilization. The Hebrew Bible describes watchers who came down from heaven to study humanity during critical periods in early civilization. These beings possessed advanced knowledge and capabilities far beyond human understanding. Yet they followed strict rules about direct interference with human development. The Book of Enoch provides detailed descriptions of watchers who could travel between heaven and earth instantly, observe human activities from great distances, and possess technology that seemed magical to ancient observers. Similar accounts appear in Mesopotamian texts thousands of years older than biblical stories. Sumerian tablets describe the Anunnaki as beings who came from the sky to monitor human progress. These accounts include specific details about flying vehicles, advanced communication methods, and beings who could observe events across great distances without being physically present. Hindu scriptures contain remarkably detailed descriptions of aerial vehicles called vimanas that could travel through the sky using mysterious propulsion systems. The Ramayana describes flying craft with capabilities matching modern reports of unidentified aerial phenomena, instant acceleration, silent flight, and the ability to become invisible to observers on the ground. These ancient texts include technical specifications that sound remarkably similar to advanced aerospace technology. Chinese historical records dating back 4,000 years describe dragons that flew through the sky in patterns unlike any known aircraft. These beings demonstrated intelligence, appeared during significant events in Chinese civilization, and maintained consistent observation of human activities across multiple dynasties. The descriptions match modern encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena in terms of flight characteristics and behavioral patterns. Native American traditions across dozens of tribes independently described star people who came from the sky to observe human development. These beings possessed advanced technology, could travel vast distances instantly, and followed protocols that prevented direct interference with tribal societies. The consistency of these accounts across geographically separated cultures suggests shared experiences rather than borrowed mythology. Aboriginal Australian traditions describe sky beings who have watched human civilization for tens of thousands of years. These stories include details about aerial vehicles, advanced observation techniques, and beings who could monitor human activities without direct contact. The traditions explicitly state that these beings follow rules about non-interference with natural human development. Egyptian hieroglyphs depict flying objects and beings who descended from the sky during significant periods in Egyptian history. Temple walls show detailed images of craft that match modern descriptions of unidentified aerial phenomena. Texts describe beings with advanced knowledge who observed but rarely interfered with Egyptian civilization. Mayan codices describe feathered serpents that could fly through the sky and possess technology beyond human understanding. These beings appeared during critical moments in Mayan development and demonstrated capabilities that the Maya interpreted as divine powers. The descriptions include technical details about propulsion and flight characteristics that match modern encounters. What makes these accounts particularly compelling is their consistency across cultures that had no contact with each other. Independent civilizations separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years describe identical phenomena using different languages and cultural frameworks. The core elements remain remarkably similar. Beings from the sky, advanced flying technology, systematic observation of human activities, and strict non-interference protocols. The ancient accounts also describe periods when observation activity increased during significant technological or social developments in human civilization. This pattern matches modern reports of increased unexplained aerial phenomena during critical moments in human technological advancement. Archaeological evidence supports many details from these ancient accounts, including artifacts that suggest exposure to advanced technology during periods when humans supposedly possessed only primitive tools. But the most intriguing evidence might be found in physical discoveries that completely contradict our understanding of ancient human capabilities and suggest outside technological influence. Buried beneath 3 feet of undisturbed sediment in Romania, archaeologists discovered aluminum objects crafted over 200,000 years before humans supposedly learned to smell metal. The IUD artifact defies every rule of archaeological dating and technological development. Aluminum requires sophisticated industrial processes to extract from ore, involving temperatures exceeding 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit and electrolytic techniques that weren't developed until 1886. Yet laboratory analysis confirms this object was buried in geological layers formed during the Pleistocene epoch, when humans were supposedly limited to stone tools and fire. The artifact shows deliberate manufacturing with precise tool marks indicating advanced machining capabilities rather than natural formation. Its composition matches modern aluminum alloys, suggesting knowledge of metallurgy that shouldn't have existed for hundreds of thousands of years. The oxidation patterns and geological context rule out modern contamination or deliberate burial by recent civilizations. Similar impossible artifacts appear worldwide in context that challenge everything we understand about human technological development. In Turkey, archaeologists found steel objects in rock formations over 60 million years old. These discoveries occur in undisturbed geological layers that formed long before humans evolved. Yet the objects show clear signs of intelligent manufacture. The Coso artifact discovered in California contains what appears to be a spark plug encased in rock that formed over 500,000 years ago. Extra analysis reveals internal components, including metal filaments and ceramic insulators arranged in patterns identical to modern electrical devices. The rock formation rules out recent manufacture, yet the technology shouldn't have existed until the 20th century. In France, researchers discovered metal tubes embedded in limestone that formed during the Cretaceous period over 65 million years ago. These tubes show precise engineering with internal threading and uniform wall thickness that requires advanced manufacturing capabilities. Laboratory analysis confirms the metal composition matches modern industrial alloys that require sophisticated smelting techniques. Coal miners in multiple locations have found metal objects embedded in coal seams that formed hundreds of millions of years ago. These artifacts include tools, decorative items, and mechanical components that demonstrate advanced metallurgy and precision manufacturing. The coal formed through geological processes that would crush and transform any modern objects. Yet these artifacts remain intact and show no signs of geological distortion. The most disturbing discoveries involve impossible materials that don't match any known natural substances. Objects have been found containing elements arranged in crystalline structures that require controlled laboratory conditions to create. Some artifacts contain isotope ratios that don't occur naturally on Earth, suggesting either advanced nuclear technology or extraterrestrial origin. Carbon dating and geological analysis consistently confirm these objects existed long before human civilization developed the necessary technology to create them. The artifacts aren't simply advanced for their time. They represent technology that exceeds modern human capabilities in many cases. Some contain materials and manufacturing techniques that current science cannot fully explain or reproduce. Pattern analysis reveals these discoveries cluster around periods of significant geological change and mass extinction events. The timing suggests possible connection between advanced technology presence and major planetary transitions that affected life on Earth. This correlation could indicate external observation or intervention during critical periods in planetary development. Independent research teams worldwide have discovered similar artifacts with identical technological characteristics, despite being separated by thousands of miles and millions of years. The consistency suggests systematic rather than random technological presence throughout Earth's geological history. Modern archaeological institutions often suppress or ignore these discoveries because they don't fit established historical timelines. Objects that challenge fundamental assumptions about human technological development tend to disappear into storage facilities or receive insufficient analysis funding. But these impossible artifacts might represent just one piece of evidence for technological influence that extends far beyond ancient history and connects directly to humanity's suspiciously rapid modern development. Human technological development exploded at exactly the moment when our planet became visible to radio telescopes across the galaxy. And this timing might not be coincidental. Before 1950, Earth was essentially invisible to any alien civilization using radio astronomy to detect intelligent life. Our planet generated no artificial radio signals strong enough to travel between star systems. We had no television broadcasts, no radar systems, and no radio communications powerful enough to announce our existence to the cosmos. From a galactic perspective, Earth appeared to be just another lifeless rock orbiting an unremarkable star. Then everything changed within a few decades. We rapidly developed television broadcasting, military radar networks, and space communication systems that beam signals across multiple light years of space. For the first time in Earth's history, we became detectable to any advanced civilization monitoring our region of the galaxy. Our radio signatures suddenly announced to the cosmos that intelligent life had emerged on the third planet from the sun. The timing of our technological explosion perfectly coincides with this transition from radio silence to cosmic visibility. Just as we became detectable, our rate of scientific advancement accelerated exponentially beyond anything seen in previous human history. Major breakthroughs in physics, chemistry, engineering, and mathematics occurred simultaneously across multiple fields with unprecedented speed and efficiency. Consider the suspicious coordination of human scientific achievements during the mid-20th century. Nuclear physics, rocket technology, computer science, telecommunications, and space exploration all advanced rapidly during the same narrow time window. Each field built upon discoveries from other fields with remarkable synchronization, as if following a carefully orchestrated development schedule. The Manhattan Project demonstrated that humans could rapidly master nuclear technology when provided with sufficient resources and coordination. Similarly, the Apollo program proved that focused effort could achieve interplanetary travel within a single decade. These accomplishments required levels of technological integration and advancement that seemed impossible based on pre-war human capabilities. Electromagnetic theory, quantum mechanics, and relativity principles all emerged within decades of each other, providing the theoretical foundation for modern technology. Without these concepts, current electronics, telecommunications, and space travel would be impossible. The rapid discovery of these fundamental principles enabled the technological revolution that made Earth cosmically visible. The pattern suggests external guidance time to coincide with our transition to galactic detectability. Once our radio signals began traveling between star systems, anyone monitoring our region would know that Earth had developed technological civilization. This transition point might trigger protocols that allow increased technological assistance while maintaining the appearance of natural human development. Modern internet technology demonstrates the same accelerated pattern. TCP, IP protocols, fiber optic communications, satellite networks, and global positioning systems all emerged within a remarkably short time frame. The complexity of coordinating these systems should have required decades of gradual development, yet they appeared with efficiency that enabled rapid global implementation. Space technology follows identical timing patterns. Human space flight capabilities progressed from theoretical concepts to moon landings within 2 decades. Current private space companies achieve in years what previously required decades of government development. The acceleration suggests systematic removal of technological barriers rather than gradual human discovery. Artificial intelligence development shows the same suspicious timing. Machine learning, neural networks, and quantum computing all advanced simultaneously during the exact period when global communication networks could support distributed development. The coordination required to achieve such rapid progress across multiple complex fields points to external guidance rather than independent human achievement. Medical technology has accelerated similarly. genetic engineering, diagnostic imaging, surgical robotics, and pharmaceutical development all progressed rapidly during the same time frame as other technological advances. The coordination between different medical fields enabled integrated solutions that appeared much faster than historical medical progress patterns would predict. But if advanced civilizations really are monitoring and guiding our development, then they must have sophisticated systems in place to coordinate this assistance while maintaining the illusion of natural human progress. Advanced alien civilizations might follow strict radio silence protocols that explain why space seems empty, while they coordinate humanity's careful development from the shadows. Think about how researchers study animal behavior in the wild. Scientists use hidden cameras, remote sensors, and observation blinds to monitor wildlife without interfering with natural behaviors. They coordinate their activities carefully to avoid contaminating the environment or alerting animals to human presence. Similar protocols would apply on a galactic scale, but with far more sophisticated technology and coordination methods. Galactic civilizations would need communication systems that bypass electromagnetic radiation entirely to maintain radio silence around protected species. Advanced physics suggests multiple alternatives to radio waves for instantaneous communication across interstellar distances. Quantum entanglement, gravitational wave manipulation, or dimensional folding could enable coordination without generating detectable signals that might alert primitive civilizations. The silence serves multiple strategic purposes beyond simple species protection. Broadcasting communications across space would reveal technological capabilities, population centers, and strategic information to potentially hostile civilizations. Advanced species would naturally develop encrypted communication methods that appear as random cosmic background noise to less developed observers. Consider the mathematical requirements for maintaining galactic radio silence around Earth. Every participating civilization would need precise coordination to avoid accidental signal leakage into our detection range. This requires galaxy-wide databases tracking human technological capabilities, monitoring our radio astronomy progress, and updating signal avoidance protocols as our detection abilities improve. Enforcement mechanisms would ensure compliance with non-interference agreements. Galactic authorities might monitor all electromagnetic emissions in protected zones, automatically jamming or redirecting signals that could reach developing civilities. Violations of radio silence protocols could result in severe penalties for civilizations that accidentally contaminate primitive species development. The timing of signal avoidance would require incredibly precise knowledge of human technological progress. Advanced civilizations would need to predict exactly when humans would develop specific radio astronomy capabilities, then coordinate their communication blackouts accordingly. This suggests detailed monitoring of human scientific development and sophisticated modeling of our technological advancement patterns. Physical evidence supports the existence of active signal management around Earth. Our radio telescopes detect unusual patterns in cosmic background radiation that some researchers interpret as artificial manipulation. Certain frequency ranges show suspicious gaps or modifications that could indicate external signal filtering designed to prevent us from detecting alien communications. Modern CTI programs report technical anomalies that might represent evidence of communication jamming or redirection. Radio telescopes occasionally detect powerful signals that disappear before detailed analysis can be completed. These brief detections could represent temporary failures in galactic signal management systems that quickly correct themselves. The galactic internet would operate on principles completely invisible to human detection methods. Advanced civilizations might use the quantum vacuum, dark matter interactions, or extra-dimensional communication channels that bypass our four-dimensional space entirely. Their entire information infrastructure could exist parallel to our reality without creating any detectable electromagnetic signatures. Interstellar coordination would require communication speeds faster than light to maintain real-time updates about human technological progress. Quantum mechanics suggests that information can be transmitted instantaneously across any distance through entangled particle systems. Galactic civilizations might have developed quantum communication networks that enable instant coordination across the entire galaxy. The Silence Protocol might include contingency plans for accidental detection by human technology if we accidentally intercept alien communications. Automatic systems could generate convincing false explanations like pulsar activity or natural electromagnetic phenomena. The signals could be designed to self-destruct or become undetectable once human analysis begins. But the most intriguing possibility is that radio silence protocols are just the first layer of an elaborate system designed to manage humanity's graduation from cosmic isolation to galactic citizenship. Somewhere in the depths of space, an advanced civilization just received an automated alert that humanity discovered nuclear fusion, triggering protocols that have governed galactic civilization for millions of years. The picture of cosmic government operating on scales that dwarf anything humans can imagine. This galactic authority would manage thousands of developing species across hundreds of billions of star systems, each requiring individual protection protocols based on their unique developmental stages. The bureaucracy alone would require computational power that exceeds the combined processing capacity of every computer on Earth. Enforcement mechanisms would operate automatically through sophisticated monitoring networks embedded throughout space. These systems would track every electromagnetic emission, nuclear detonation, and technological milestone achieved by protected species. When humanity first split the atom in 1945, automated systems likely flagged Earth for increased monitoring and updated our protection status across the entire galactic network. Think of it like a cosmic version of wildlife protection services. Just as park rangers monitor endangered species populations and enforce hunting restrictions, galactic authorities would track primitive civilizations and enforce non-interference laws. Violations would trigger immediate response from specialized enforcement units equipped with technology capable of neutralizing threats to protect its species. The legal framework would be staggeringly complex, accounting for millions of different species with unique biological, psychological, and technological characteristics. Human protection protocols would differ dramatically from those governing silicon-based life forms or energy beings that exist in gas giant atmospheres. Each species requires customized, non-interference guidelines based on their specific developmental needs and vulnerabilities. Automated enforcement systems would prevent accidental contact through multiple layers of protection. Advanced civilizations attempting to visit our solar system would encounter invisible barriers that redirect their course or disable their vessels before they could reach Earth. These systems would operate seamlessly, making course corrections appear like natural navigation errors or equipment malfunctions. Punishment for violations would be severe enough to deter even the most advanced civilizations from risking contact with protected species. Galactic law enforcement might possess weapons capable of sterilizing entire star systems or imprisoning violators in alternate dimensional spaces. The consequences would be so devastating that no rational civilization would risk premature contact with developing species. Detection capabilities would monitor every aspect of galactic civilization to identify potential threats to protected zones. Advanced civilizations planning unauthorized expeditions would be detected and stopped long before their ships could reach restricted areas. The monitoring network would track individual thoughts, private communications, and secret military projects across thousands of different species. Legal precedent would be based on millions of years of experience managing species transitions from primitive to advanced status. Galactic courts would have detailed case history showing the devastating consequences of premature contact, providing clear justification for strict enforcement of protection protocols. Every violation would be documented and studied to improve future protection systems. The enforcement authority would possess complete information about human civilization, including detailed psychological profiles of every individual on Earth. This knowledge would enable them to predict exactly how humans would react to different types of contact scenarios, allowing them to design protection protocols that account for our specific psychological and cultural characteristics. Coordination between enforcement agencies would require instantaneous communication across galactic distances to ensure consistent application of protection laws throughout space. But maintaining this level of control would require something even more sophisticated than law enforcement, an invisible barrier system that keeps unauthorized visitors away from Earth without our knowledge. Our entire solar system might be surrounded by an imperceptible force field that automatically deflects incoming spacecraft while making the deflection appear like natural cosmic phenomena. Advanced physics suggests multiple methods for creating invisible barriers in space using gravitational manipulation, electromagnetic field generation, or space time distortion techniques. These barriers could redirect incoming objects along altered trajectories that appear completely natural to both the deflected vessels and any observers monitoring the interaction. Ships approaching our solar system would simply find themselves heading in different directions without realizing they'd been turned away. The barrier system would need to be incredibly sophisticated to handle different types of threats while remaining completely undetectable. Automated systems would distinguish between natural objects like asteroids and artificial spacecraft, applying appropriate responses to each category. Natural objects would pass through unaffected, while artificial vessels would experience subtle course corrections that prevent them from reaching the inner solar system. Think about the engineering requirements for such a system. The barriers would need to encompass our entire solar system, creating a protective sphere roughly 12 billion miles in diameter. The energy requirements would exceed the total power output of our sun, yet the system would need to operate continuously for thousands of years without creating any detectable signatures that might alert human astronomers. Gravitational field manipulation offers the most elegant solution for invisible deflection systems. Advanced civilizations might position artificial mass concentrators at strategic points around our solar system, creating gravitational anomalies that naturally redirect incoming space. These mass concentrators would appear as empty space to our instruments while generating precise gravitational effects that guide objects away from Earth. The deflection process would be gradual enough to avoid detection by the redirected vessels. Instead of sudden course changes that would alert spacecraft crews to external interference, the barriers would create subtle gravitational influences that slowly modify trajectories over months or years. Alien crews would attribute course changes to navigation errors, equipment drift, or previously undetected gravitational bodies. Space-time distortion provides another method for creating undetectable barriers around our solar system. Advanced technology might bend space itself around Earth, creating regions where normal physics operates differently without generating detectable energy signatures. Spacecraft entering these distorted zones would find themselves emerging in completely different locations without understanding how the transition occurred. The barrier system would include sophisticated camouflage protocols to hide evidence of artificial intervention. When deflected spacecraft return to their home worlds, their navigation records would show courses that appear completely normal based on known physics and stellar mechanics. The deflection would be seamlessly integrated into natural cosmic phenomena to avoid raising suspicions. Electromagnetic barriers could create invisible walls that disable approaching spacecraft without destroying them. These systems would shut down electronic equipment, drain power sources, or interfere with propulsion systems in ways that mimic natural equipment failures. Alien crews would experience mysterious technical problems that force them to abandon their approach to our solar system. The barriers would automatically adjust their strength and configuration based on the technological capabilities of approaching vessels. More advanced spacecraft would encounter more sophisticated countermeasures, ensuring that no civilization possesses technology capable of penetrating our protective zone. The system would continuously upgrade itself to stay ahead of galactic technological development. Multiple redundant barrier systems would ensure complete protection even if individual components fail or are discovered. Primary gravitational deflectors would be backed up by electromagnetic disruptors, space-time distortion generators, and physical interdiction systems capable of destroying vessels that somehow penetrate the outer defense layers. Evidence for barrier systems might already exist in our astronomical observations, hidden among data that we interpret as natural cosmic phenomena. But even the most sophisticated barrier systems wouldn't be enough to justify the delay in first contact. And the real reasons for postponing human integration into galactic society might be far more complex than simple protection. First, contact isn't being delayed to protect humanity from advanced alien technology, but to protect the galaxy from what humans might become once we gain access to interstellar civilization. Consider our species from an outside perspective. Humans have spent most of recorded history engaged in continuous warfare, developing increasingly sophisticated methods of destroying each other and our environment. We've created weapons capable of sterilizing our entire planet multiple times over, and we've come frighteningly close to using them during political conflicts that future civilizations will view as trivial disputes. The mathematics of human behavior present disturbing patterns when projected across galactic scales. Our tendency toward territorial expansion, resource competition, and tribal conflict could prove catastrophic if amplified by advanced technology and interstellar travel capabilities. A species that has never achieved lasting peace on a single planet might not be ready for access to thousands of worlds populated by different civilizations. Galactic authorities would have detailed psychological profiles showing humanity's aggressive tendencies, technological recklessness, and inability to achieve sustainable global cooperation. Our failure to solve basic problems like poverty, disease, and environmental destruction would raise serious questions about our readiness for cosmic citizenship. Advanced civilizations might reasonably conclude that humans require extended observation periods before contact becomes safe. Think about how humans have historically treated other species and cultures we encounter. Indigenous populations worldwide suffered devastating consequences from contact with more technologically advanced human societies. Environmental destruction follows human expansion wherever we establish colonies. Our track record with intercultural contact doesn't inspire confidence in our ability to peacefully integrate with alien civilizations. The delay serves as an extended psychological evaluation period where human behavior is studied under various stress conditions. Wars, pandemics, natural disasters, and technological challenges provide data about how our species responds to crises. Galactic observers would be particularly interested in our ability to cooperate globally when facing existential threats that require unified responses. Nuclear weapons development marked a critical threshold that likely triggered enhanced monitoring and extended delay protocols. Any species capable of destroying their home planet through technological accidents or deliberate warfare represents a potential galactic security risk. Human nuclear capabilities demonstrate both our technological advancement and our psychological instability, creating a dangerous combination that requires careful management. Our response to climate change provides another key evaluation metric for galactic observers. A species that knowingly damages their only habitable planet while possessing the technology to prevent such damage reveals fundamental flaws in collective decision-making processes. This behavior pattern suggests humans might similarly damage galactic resources or habitable worlds if granted access too early. Social media and global communication networks have given galactic observers unprecedented insight into human psychology and cultural dynamics. Our online behavior reveals levels of tribal hatred, misinformation acceptance, and reality distortion that would concern any advanced civilization considering contact. Digital human behavior suggests we lack the psychological maturity for peaceful interaction with genuinely alien cultures. The delay might continue until humans demonstrate specific behavioral milestones that indicate readiness for galactic contact. These thresholds could include achieving sustained global peace, eliminating poverty and hunger, developing sustainable relationships with our environment, and demonstrating consistent cooperative responses to planetary challenges. Economic systems based on infinite growth and resource extraction would particularly concern galactic civilizations operating within finite galactic resources. Human economic models could prove destructive when applied to interstellar scales, requiring fundamental changes before contact becomes appropriate. Advanced civilizations might be waiting for humans to evolve beyond tribalism and develop genuine planetary identity that transcends national, religious, and cultural divisions. But while galactic authorities debate our readiness for contact, sophisticated monitoring systems are already documenting every aspect of human civilization with scientific precision that we're only beginning to recognize. Every aspect of human behavior is being documented with the same scientific rigor that we use to study laboratory animals, and the evidence is hiding in patterns we dismiss as coincidence. Consider how scientists monitor animal populations in research environments. Video cameras record behavioral patterns 24 hours per day. Researchers track social interactions, breeding habits, feeding behaviors, and responses to environmental changes. Individual animals receive identification tags that enable long-term studies of personal development and life cycles. Similar monitoring systems would be operating around Earth, but using technology so advanced that we cannot detect the observation equipment. Global positioning satellites and communication networks have created a perfect tracking system for monitoring human movement patterns, social interactions, and behavioral changes across entire populations. What we interpret as human technological development might actually represent the natural emergence of monitoring infrastructure that advanced civilizations need to study our species effectively. Think about the timing of social media emergence and its unprecedented ability to document human thoughts, emotions, and social dynamics in real time. Platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram create detailed psychological profiles for billions of individuals while tracking their relationships, preferences, and behavioral changes over time. This data provides exactly the kind of comprehensive behavioral analysis that galactic researchers would need to understand human civilization. Internet search engines record every question humans ask, every topic that interests us, and every problem we're trying to solve. This creates a real-time database of human curiosity, knowledge gaps, and intellectual development that would be invaluable for species studying our cognitive evolution. The search data reveals collective human consciousness in ways that would fascinate alien anthropologists. Smartphone technology has placed sophisticated monitoring devices in the pockets of nearly every human on Earth. These devices track our locations, record our conversations, monitor our health metrics, and document our daily activities with precision that exceeds any laboratory study. The data collection capabilities would provide galactic researchers with incredibly detailed information about individual human behavior patterns. Financial transaction systems create complete records of human economic behavior, resource allocation patterns, and value systems. Digital payment networks document every purchase, revealing cultural priorities, consumption habits, and economic decision-making processes across different populations. This economic data would help galactic observers understand human material needs and resource management capabilities. Medical record systems track human health patterns, genetic variations, and responses to diseases across global populations. Electronic health records provide the kind of biological data that would be essential for understanding human physiology and evolutionary development. Vaccination programs and medical treatments create controlled experiments that reveal how human immune systems respond to different biological challenges. Educational testing systems monitor human intellectual development and knowledge acquisition patterns across different cultures and age groups. Standardized tests, online learning platforms, and academic achievement databases document cognitive capabilities and learning behaviors that would interest galactic researchers studying human intelligence evolution. Climate monitoring networks track human environmental impact with unprecedented precision, documenting how our species modifies planetary ecosystems and responds to environmental changes. Satellite imagery, atmospheric sensors, and ocean monitoring systems create detailed records of human ecological behavior that would be valuable for understanding our relationship with planetary resources. The pattern becomes clear when you step back and look at the comprehensive monitoring infrastructure that has emerged during the exact same period when humans became detectable to galactic civilizations. Every aspect of human civilization is now documented, tracked, and analyzed with scientific precision that rivals the most sophisticated laboratory studies. Transportation systems, energy consumption patterns, waste production rates, and communication behaviors are all monitored continuously through networks that we built ourselves ostensibly for human purposes. But this comprehensive monitoring serves a deeper purpose than simple scientific observation and might be part of a galactic protocol system that governs how advanced civilizations interact with developing species. Hidden within science fiction stories that humans created themselves The rules governing galactic civilization have been carefully planted to prepare us for eventual contact. The concept of a prime directive prohibiting interference with developing civilizations didn't originate from human imagination alone. This idea appeared simultaneously in multiple science fiction works during the exact period when humans became detectable to galactic observers. The timing suggests that these concepts were deliberately introduced into human culture to familiarize us with galactic law before formal contact occurs. Think about how wildlife researchers introduce captive animals to new environments, gradually using familiar objects and gradual exposure to reduce psychological trauma. Advanced civilizations would use similar techniques to prepare humans for galactic contact by slowly introducing key concepts through entertainment media that doesn't trigger defensive reactions or cultural upheaval. Star Trek's Prime Directive specifically prohibits Starfleet from interfering with the natural development of civilizations that haven't achieved warp drive technology. This threshold perfectly matches the developmental stage where primitive species become capable of detecting and interacting with galactic civilization. The concept appeared in human entertainment exactly when we were approaching this critical technological milestone. The Prime Directive includes specific protocols for handling accidental contact with primitive species, describing procedures for memory modification, historical record alteration, and cultural damage control. These detailed guidelines suggest intimate knowledge of actual galactic contact protocols, rather than simple human speculation about theoretical scenarios. Similar non-interference concepts appeared independently in multiple human science fiction works during the same time period, suggesting coordinated introduction rather than coincidental creative inspiration. Authors worldwide began exploring themes of advanced civilizations monitoring primitive species while following strict rules about direct contact. The fictional descriptions include technical details about how advanced civilizations would monitor developing species without detection, coordinate galactic scale, non-interference policies, and determine appropriate timing for first contact. These details demonstrate understanding of practical challenges that human authors shouldn't logically possess without external guidance. Consider the psychological preparation aspect of introducing these concepts through fiction. When formal galactic contact eventually occurs, humans will already be familiar with the basic principles governing interstellar civilization. We'll understand why contact was delayed, how monitoring systems operate, and what behavioral standards will need to meet the future. The first step is to meet continued galactic participation. The Prime Directive concept has become deeply embedded in human culture, appearing in movies, television shows, books, and games worldwide. This cultural saturation ensures that most humans understand non-interference principles before experiencing actual contact with galactic civilization. The concentration reduces the likelihood of panic, misunderstanding, or inappropriate responses during first contact scenarios. Educational value extends beyond simple contact preparation to include lessons about appropriate behavior toward less developed civilizations. As humans eventually encounter primitive species during our own galactic expansion, we'll already understand the moral and practical importance of non-interference protocols. The fictional accounts include warnings about the catastrophic consequences of premature contact with developing civilizations, providing cautionary examples that will guide human behavior when we achieve advanced status ourselves. These lessons serve as cultural programming that shapes human attitudes toward responsible galactic citizenship. Detailed descriptions of galactic government structures, interstellar law enforcement, and cosmic diplomacy provide frameworks that humans will need to understand when participating in actual galactic civilization. The fictional accounts function as educational materials disguised as entertainment. The timing of these concepts, introduction into human culture, correlates precisely with our technological development milestones, suggesting careful coordination between galactic observers and human creative communities. But even the most sophisticated cultural preparation wouldn't be sufficient to hide the presence of advanced civilizations if they didn't possess technology capable of complete invisibility. Advanced alien technology might render entire civilizations completely undetectable to human senses and instruments, using physics principles that we're only beginning to discover. Quantum mechanics suggests that matter exists in multiple states simultaneously until observed, creating theoretical possibilities for civilizations that phase in and out of detectable reality. Advanced beings might have learned to manipulate quantum probability fields, allowing them to exist in parallel dimensional spaces that overlap our reality without direct interaction. Think about how much of the universe remains invisible to human detection. Dark matter comprises 85% of all matter in the universe, yet we cannot see or directly measure it despite knowing it exists through gravitational effects. Advanced civilizations might have learned to construct technology and habitats using dark matter components that remain completely invisible to normal matter detection methods. Electromagnetic spectrum manipulation could render entire fleets of spacecraft invisible across all wavelengths that human instruments can detect. Advanced physics suggests methods for bending light around objects, creating perfect optical camouflage that makes vessels appear to be empty space. These cloaking systems could extend beyond visible light to include radio waves, infrared radiation, and X-ray emissions. Dimensional shifting technology might allow advanced beings to exist primarily in higher dimensional spaces that intersect our three-dimensional reality only when necessary. From their perspective, human civilization would appear as flat projections on a lower dimensional surface, while they remain completely invisible to our limited sensory capabilities. Time dilation fields could create invisibility through temporal displacement rather than spatial hiding. Advanced civilizations might operate at accelerated time rates, where their entire technological civilizations complete full cycles between human heartbeat. They could conduct complex activities in the time it takes humans to blink, making their presence undetectable through simple timing differences. Gravitational lensing technology could bend space-time around alien installations, redirecting light and radiation around their positions to create perfect invisibility. These installations would exist in gravitational bubbles that prevent any electromagnetic radiation from entering or leaving their operational zones. Phase variance technology might allow matter to exist in frequency ranges that don't interact with normal atomic structures. Advanced beings could construct entire civilizations using matter that vibrates at frequencies outside human sensory ranges, making them completely intangible and invisible while occupying the same physical space. Neural perception filtering represents another approach to achieving perfect invisibility. Advanced technology might directly influence human brain activity to edit out alien presence from conscious awareness. Humans would look directly at alien installations or creatures without consciously registering their presence, similar to how the brain edits out blind spots in human vision. Probability manipulation could render alien civilizations statistically invisible by ensuring they never appear when humans are looking in their direction. Advanced technology might predict human observation patterns and automatically relocate alien activities to unobserved areas, creating the illusion that they don't exist while maintaining continuous presence. The invisibility systems would need to be completely automated and self-maintaining to avoid accidental detection during maintenance or operational procedures. Advanced artificial intelligence would monitor human detection capabilities continuously and adjust invisibility protocols automatically to stay ahead of improving human technology. Multiple redundant invisibility methods would ensure complete concealment, even if individual systems fail or are discovered. Electromagnetic cloaking might be backed up by dimensional shifting, quantum phase manipulation, and neural perception filtering to guarantee absolute invisibility under all possible conditions. Perfect invisibility would extend beyond just hiding physical presence to include eliminating all secondary effects that might reveal alien activity. But maintaining such sophisticated invisibility systems would require enormous energy sources, and some evidence of these power systems might be leaking through at the edges of our solar system. Sensitive instruments are detecting unexplained energy patterns at the boundary of our solar system that match theoretical signatures of advanced propulsion and containment system. NASA's Voyager probes encountered mysterious pressure variations and magnetic field anomalies when they reached the heliopause, the boundary between our solar system and interstellar space. These readings don't match theoretical models of natural solar wind interactions with the interstellar medium. The anomalies suggest artificial structures or energy fields operating at the edge of our solar system. The Pioneer anomaly represents another unexplained phenomenon detected by deep space probes. Both Pioneer 10 and Pioneer 11 experienced unexpected deceleration as they traveled toward the outer solar system. The deceleration force was tiny but consistent, suggesting interaction with artificial field effects rather than natural gravitational influences. Consider what energy signatures would be generated by massive invisibility systems surrounding our solar system. Gravitational field generators would require enormous power sources that might leak detectable radiation despite sophisticated containment systems. The energy requirements for maintaining galactic scale barriers would exceed the power output of entire star systems. Radio astronomy has detected unusual patterns in cosmic background radiation that some researchers interpret as evidence of artificial signal processing. Certain frequency ranges show statistical anomalies that suggest active filtering or redirection of electromagnetic radiation around our solar system. These patterns could represent evidence of communication jamming systems designed to maintain radio silence protocols. Deep space monitoring networks have recorded brief, intense energy bursts originating from the outer solar system that disappear before detailed analysis can be completed. These events generate power signatures comparable to small nuclear explosions but produce no visible light or lasting radiation effects. The energy bursts could represent operational signatures of advanced technology systems. Gravitational wave detectors have identified subtle distortions in space-time fabric that don't correlate with known astronomical phenomena. These distortions appear at regular intervals and seem to originate from fixed positions at the edge of our solar system. The patterns suggest artificial gravitational field manipulation rather than natural cosmic events. Solar wind monitoring reveal unexpected variations in particle density and velocity that occur in geometrically precise patterns around our solar system. Natural solar wind interactions should produce irregular chaotic patterns, yet the data shows organized structures that suggest artificial field effects redirecting solar particles. Neutrino detectors buried deep underground occasionally register brief floods of high-energy particles that arrive from specific directions in space. These neutrino bursts don't correlate with known astronomical events, but occur in patterns that suggest artificial particle acceleration systems operating beyond the orbit of Pluto. Infrared telescopes detect temperature variations in apparently empty regions of space near the heliopause. These thermal signatures suggest massive structures or energy systems that radiate heat while remaining invisible to optical detection. The heat patterns are too organized and persistent to represent natural phenomena. Magnetic field measurements by deep space probes reveal organized structures in the interplanetary magnetic field that extend beyond the theoretical limits of solar influence. These magnetic patterns suggest artificial field generation systems operating at the boundary between our solar system and interstellar space. The energy signatures cluster around specific orbital positions that would provide optimal monitoring locations for observing Earth while remaining hidden from human detection. The positioning is too strategic to represent random natural phenomena. Quantum field fluctuation measurements detect organized patterns in vacuum energy density at the edge of our solar system that suggest artificial manipulation of fundamental physics principles. But energy signatures are just the beginning of evidence that something has been actively intervening in human development at the most fundamental biological level. Human evolution contains impossible gaps and sudden leaps that suggest direct genetic intervention by intelligences who understood DNA manipulation millions of years before we discovered genetics. The transition from primitive hominids to modern humans occurred with suspicious speed and precision when viewed against the typical timeline of evolutionary development. Natural evolution operates through gradual changes over millions of years, yet human brain capacity tripled in less than 3 million years. This represents evolutionary acceleration that exceeds normal mutation and selection rates by orders of magnitude. Consider the mathematical impossibility of human brain development through random mutation alone. The human brain contains over 100 billion neurons with trillions of synaptic connections arranged in patterns that enable consciousness, language, abstract reasoning, and complex problem solving. Random genetic changes should require hundreds of millions of years to produce such sophisticated neural architecture. Archaeological evidence reveals sudden appearances of advanced human capabilities with no intermediate developmental stages. Tool use went from simple stone implements to complex multi-component weapons and artistic objects within relatively short time periods. These technological leaps suggest enhanced cognitive abilities that appeared without gradual development phases. Human genetic diversity is suspiciously limited compared to other primate species, suggesting a population bottleneck that reduced our species to small numbers before rapid expansion. This bottleneck coincides with the period when human intelligence dramatically increased, implying that a small group received genetic modifications that were then spread throughout the entire human population. The human genome contains numerous sequences that have no apparent evolutionary purpose and don't appear in closely related primate species. These junk DNA segments might represent dormant genetic programs or identification markers inserted by advanced genetic engineers. Their presence suggests artificial modification rather than natural evolutionary development. Human beings possess biological capabilities that exceed the requirements for survival in our original environment. Our capacity for complex mathematics, artistic expression, philosophical reasoning, and scientific inquiry provides no evolutionary advantage for hunter-gatherer societies. These advanced cognitive abilities suggest design for purposes beyond simple survival. Language development presents another impossible evolutionary leap. Human communication abilities are qualitatively different from other primate vocalizations, requiring sophisticated neural structures that enable grammar, syntax, abstract symbolism, and cultural transmission. The gap between animal communication and human language is too large to bridge through gradual evolutionary steps. Missing fossil evidence compounds the mystery of human origins. The archaeological record shows clear lineages for most species evolution, with intermediate forms demonstrating gradual changes between ancestral and modern varieties. Human evolution lacks these intermediate stages, showing instead sudden appearances of dramatically different hominid types with advanced capabilities. Genetic analysis reveals that human DNA contains unusually high numbers of recent mutations that haven't had time to spread throughout the population through natural selection. These recent genetic changes appear to be artificially accelerated rather than products of normal evolutionary processes. Human reproductive biology differs significantly from other primates in ways that serve no apparent evolutionary purpose. Extended childhood development periods, hidden ovulation cycles, and complex social bonding behaviors suggest modifications designed to support advanced intellectual development rather than basic survival needs. The timing of human intelligence emergence correlates with periods of increased, unexplained aerial phenomena reported in ancient texts worldwide. Historical accounts describe sky beings who interacted with early humans during the exact time periods when archaeological evidence shows sudden advances in human capabilities. Comparative genetics with Neanderthals and other extinct hominid species reveals that modern humans receive genetic information that wasn't available through breeding with existing populations. But genetic intervention would represent just one aspect of a larger program designed to guide human development while filtering out species that might pose threats to galactic civilization. Humanity may have been secretly guided past the technological and social disasters that typically destroy civilizations before they achieve interstellar travel capabilities. The Great Filter represents a theoretical barrier that prevents most intelligent species from advancing beyond their home planets. This filter could involve nuclear self-destruction, environmental collapse, artificial intelligence uprising, biological warfare, resource depletion, or social breakdown that destroys technological civilization before it achieves galactic status. Statistical analysis suggests that most species destroy themselves within centuries of achieving advanced technology. The combination of powerful, destructive capabilities with primitive social structures creates unstable conditions that typically result in civilization collapse or species extinction. Human survival past this critical period might indicate external intervention rather than exceptional luck. Consider how close humanity has come to nuclear self-destruction multiple times during the Cold War. The Cuban Missile Crisis, Able Archer 83, and numerous false alarm incidents have brought us within minutes of global nuclear warfare. Yet somehow, critical decisions at crucial moments prevented escalation to species extinction. The consistent pattern of last-minute resolution suggests external influence preventing catastrophic outcomes. Climate change represents another potential great filter that could destroy human civilization through environmental collapse. Despite clear evidence of accelerating planetary damage, human societies continue behaviors that threaten long-term habitability. Yet technological solutions appear precisely when needed to prevent irreversible collapse, suggesting guided development of environmental management capabilities. Artificial intelligence development follows patterns that could easily lead to human obsolescence or extinction. Rapid AI advancement without corresponding development of control mechanisms typically results in scenarios where artificial minds replace their biological creators. Human AI research seems to be progressing at rates that allow safety protocols to keep pace with capability advancement. Biological warfare capabilities have advanced to the point where engineered pathogens could eliminate human civilization within months. Yet, despite numerous international conflicts and terrorist threats, these weapons haven't been deployed effectively against major population centers. The restraint might result from intervention that prevents access to the most dangerous biological agents. Social media and information warfare threaten human civilization through reality distortion and social fragmentation that could prevent coordinated responses to existential threats. Yet technological and social countermeasures develop alongside these threats, maintaining sufficient social cohesion for collective decision-making about species survival. Nuclear proliferation continues, expanding access to civilization, ending weapons among nations. With varying levels of political stability, mathematical models predict eventual use of nuclear weapons by terrorist groups or unstable governments. Yet such scenarios consistently fail to materialize despite numerous opportunities. Resource depletion scenarios that should have triggered civilizational collapse have been repeatedly averted through timely technological breakthroughs that increase efficiency or provide alternative resources. The timing of these solutions suggests coordination rather than random human ingenuity. Population growth patterns that threaten resource exhaustion and social breakdown have been managed through demographic transitions that occur precisely when needed to maintain sustainable population levels. The coordination of these changes across multiple cultures suggests external guidance. Space debris accumulation threatens to trap humanity on Earth by making space travel impossible through orbital cascade collisions. Yet space-faring nations coordinate cleanup efforts and traffic management protocols that prevent catastrophic debris accumulation scenarios. Economic instability cycles that could trigger global collapse consistently resolve through policy interventions and technological innovations that arrive exactly when needed to prevent total system breakdown. The pattern across all potential great filter scenarios shows human civilization receiving precisely the guidance needed to survive while maintaining the appearance of independent development. But survival past the great filter might only qualify humanity for the next phase of cosmic management, which involves more direct but still invisible intervention in human technological development. Our solar system might be surrounded by artificial structures that redirect asteroids, filter radiation, and regulate planetary conditions while remaining completely undetectable to human instruments. Think about the mathematical improbability of Earth's perfect positioning within the habitable zone around our sun. The distance that allows liquid water to exist on planetary surfaces represents a narrow band where life can develop and flourish. Yet Earth maintains this optimal position despite gravitational perturbations from other planets that should destabilize our orbit over cosmic time periods. Asteroid impact rates on Earth are suspiciously low compared to other planets in our solar system. Mars, Mercury, and our Moon show extensive crater patterns from billions of years of cosmic bombardment. Earth should display similar impact evidence, yet we experience remarkably few large asteroid collisions despite sitting in the same cosmic shooting gallery. Jupiter's role as a cosmic vacuum cleaner that captures or deflects incoming asteroids doesn't fully explain Earth's protection level. Computer simulations suggest that Jupiter's gravitational influence should only reduce Earth's impact rate by approximately 50%, not the 90% reduction we actually observe. Additional protection mechanisms must be operating to maintain our unusually safe environment. Solar radiation levels reaching Earth remain within narrow limits that support life despite natural variations in solar output that should periodically sterilize planetary surfaces. Our magnetic field provides some protection, but not enough to account for the stable radiation environment we experience. Artificial field augmentation could explain the enhanced protection levels. The ozone layer that protects Earth from harmful ultraviolet radiation maintains optimal thickness despite natural processes that should cause significant fluctuations. Ozone depletion from human industrial activity has been contained to levels that allow recovery rather than irreversible atmospheric damage. The precise control suggests active management rather than natural stability. Planetary axial tilt remains stable at 23.5 degrees, providing seasonal variations that support diverse climate zones without extreme temperature swings that would threaten life. Most planets experience chaotic axial precession that creates unstable climate conditions. Earth's stable tilt could result from artificial stabilization systems. The Moon's unusually large size relative to Earth provides tidal forces that maintain stable oceanic circulation patterns essential for global climate regulation. The probability of Earth capturing such a large satellite through natural processes is extremely low. The Moon might represent an artificially positioned body designed to optimize Earth's environmental conditions. Cosmic ray protection exceeds levels that Earth's natural magnetic field should provide. High-energy particles from space that could damage biological systems are filtered to levels that allow complex life to develop and thrive. Enhanced protection could result from artificial magnetic field augmentation operating beyond human detection capabilities. Volcanic activity patterns maintain optimal levels that recycle atmospheric gases and regulate planetary temperature without triggering mass extinction events. Natural volcanic systems should produce more chaotic activity patterns that periodically threaten global life. The regulated activity suggests active management of geological processes. Ocean chemistry remains within ranges that support marine life despite natural processes that should cause significant acidification or alkalization over geological time periods. The precise chemical balance could result from artificial buffering systems that maintain optimal conditions for biological development. Atmospheric composition stays within narrow ranges that support complex life despite natural processes that should cause dramatic changes in oxygen, carbon dioxide, and other essential gas concentrations. Active atmospheric management could maintain these precise conditions. Solar wind protection levels exceed what Earth's natural magnetosphere should provide, preventing atmospheric erosion that affects other planets in our solar system. But even the most sophisticated planetary protection systems would only represent basic infrastructure for managing humanity's final transition to galactic civilization. Human technological progress is accelerating at rates that exceed natural innovation curves by factors that suggest systematic removal of research barriers and deliberate acceleration of discovery timelines. Consider Moore's law, which predicted that computer processing power would double every 18 months. This exponential growth pattern has continued for over 50 years despite requiring constant breakthroughs in material science, manufacturing techniques, and physics understanding. Natural technological development should face increasing difficulty, curves that slow progress. Yet computer advancement maintains accelerating momentum. Smartphone technology demonstrates impossible development coordination across multiple fields simultaneously. Modern phones combine advanced semiconductors, high-resolution displays, sophisticated cameras, GPS navigation, wireless communication, and artificial intelligence in devices smaller than books. The integration required breakthroughs in dozens of fields to occur simultaneously within the same decade. Internet infrastructure development followed similarly accelerated timelines. Global fiber optic networks, satellite communication systems, wireless protocols, and data processing centers appeared with coordination that enabled worldwide connectivity within 20 years. The infrastructure complexity should have required decades longer to develop and implement. Medical technology advancement shows the same exponential patterns: genetic sequencing, diagnostic imaging, surgical robotics, pharmaceutical development, and treatment protocols all progressed rapidly during the same time periods. Each field requires specialized knowledge that should develop independently over longer time scales. Energy technology follows identical acceleration curves. Solar panel efficiency, battery storage capacity, wind turbine design, and nuclear safety systems all improve dramatically within narrow time windows. The coordination suggests systematic barrier removal rather than independent breakthrough timing. Space technology development demonstrates impossible acceleration from theoretical concepts to practical implementation. Private companies achieve in years what government programs required decades to accomplish. The learning curve suggests access to existing technical knowledge rather than original research and development. Artificial intelligence progress exceeds all theoretical predictions for natural algorithm development. Machine learning, neural networks, and processing optimization advanced simultaneously across multiple research teams worldwide. The coordination indicates shared knowledge bases rather than independent discovery. Transportation technology shows similar patterns: electric vehicle development, autonomous driving systems, traffic management networks, and charging infrastructure all progressed rapidly with precise timing that enabled integrated implementation. The coordination requirements exceed normal industrial development capabilities. Communication technology advancement maintains exponential curves despite increasing complexity requirements. Social media platforms, video streaming, instant messaging, and data compression all improved simultaneously while handling exponentially increasing usage loads. Materials science breakthroughs appear exactly when needed to support advances in other technological fields. New alloys, composites, And manufacturing techniques emerge with timing that suggests coordinated development rather than random research success. Each technological field builds upon advances in other fields with precision timing that eliminates development bottlenecks. The coordination requires knowledge of future breakthrough timelines that individual human researchers shouldn't possess. The acceleration patterns indicate systematic removal of research obstacles and provision of solution frameworks that guide human discovery toward predetermined technological milestones. Mathematical analysis of innovation rates shows consistent departure from natural development curves starting in the mid-20th century, when humans became detectable to galactic civilization. But technological acceleration serves a deeper purpose than simple advancement and might be designed to prepare humanity for evaluation against specific galactic citizenship criteria. Earth's characteristics match galactic zoo habitat requirements with precision that suggests deliberate design rather than cosmic coincidence. Consider the mathematical improbability of Earth's perfect positioning within multiple overlapping zones required for complex life development. We exist within the galactic habitable zone, where stellar density provides sufficient heavy elements without excessive radiation exposure. Our solar system sits in a quiet region between spiral arms where massive star explosions won't sterilize nearby planets. Earth size falls within the narrow range that maintains appropriate gravity for retaining atmosphere while allowing complex multicellular organisms to develop efficiently. Planets significantly larger would crush complex life under excessive gravity. Smaller worlds would lose their atmospheres to space. Earth represents optimal compromise between these competing requirements. The planet's internal structure provides exactly the geological activity needed to maintain surface conditions suitable for life over billions of years. Plate tectonics recycle atmospheric gases, regulate global temperature, and maintain magnetic field strength that protects against harmful radiation. Most planets lack this precise balance of geological activity. Our moon size and orbital characteristics are uniquely suited for maintaining stable planetary conditions over cosmic time scales. The moon stabilizes Earth's axial tilt, creates tidal forces that may have aided early life development, and gradually slows Earth's rotation to optimal rates for complex life. Such large satellite systems are extremely rare in the galaxy. Water abundance on Earth exceeds typical planetary norms by significant margins. Most worlds exist as desert planets or water worlds that lack the balanced land-ocean ratios necessary for diverse ecosystem development. Earth's surface water distribution creates optimal conditions for maximum biological diversity. Atmospheric composition remains within precise ranges required for complex life, despite natural processes that should destabilize gas concentrations over geological time. Oxygen levels stay high enough to support complex metabolism without reaching concentrations that would cause spontaneous combustion of organic matter. The sun's characteristics provide unusually stable energy output compared to most stars in the galaxy. Solar variability remains within narrow limits that prevent planet sterilizing radiation bursts or extended dim periods that would freeze surface water. Most star systems experience much greater variability that makes long-term life development difficult. Earth's magnetic field strength provides optimal protection against cosmic radiation without being so strong that it interferes with the complex chemistry required for biological processes. The magnetic field strength represents precise balance between competing requirements for radiation protection and chemical flexibility. Climate stability over billions of years exceeds normal planetary patterns, despite external perturbations that should cause dramatic environmental changes. Ice ages, volcanic periods, and asteroid impacts create temporary disruptions, but don't prevent long-term habitability. This stability suggests active environmental management. Biological diversity patterns on Earth show optimal arrangements for creating complex ecosystems that support intelligent life development. Food chain structures, symbiotic relationships, and evolutionary pressures create conditions that guide development toward increasing complexity and eventual intelligence. The timing of human emergence coincides precisely with optimal planetary conditions for supporting technological civilization. Earlier periods lacked sufficient oxygen levels for complex brains. Later periods will face increasing solar luminosity that makes technological development more difficult. Every parameter required for developing technological civilization exists simultaneously on Earth within narrow ranges that rarely coincide on other worlds throughout the galaxy. But even perfect planetary conditions wouldn't be sufficient to explain humanity's development without sophisticated management systems coordinating our progress towards specific galactic integration milestones. Running a galactic zoo containing thousands of developing civilizations would require computational resources and organizational systems that dwarf anything humans can imagine. Consider the data processing requirements for monitoring billions of individuals across multiple species simultaneously. Each developing civilization contains millions or billions of sentient beings whose behaviors, thoughts, and social interactions must be tracked continuously to understand species development patterns. The information storage and processing capacity would exceed the computational power of entire star systems. Coordination between thousands of different monitoring stations would require instantaneous communication across galactic distances to ensure consistent application of protection protocols. Time delays from normal electromagnetic signals would make real-time coordination impossible across such vast distances. Advanced civilizations must have developed faster than light communication methods that enable galaxy-wide management systems. Think about the mathematical complexity of predicting technological development timelines for each protected species. Every civilization follows unique development paths influenced by biological characteristics, environmental conditions, cultural factors, and random events. Accurate predictions require modeling systems that account for millions of variables interacting across thousands of years. Resource allocation for maintaining protection systems around thousands of star systems would strain even the most advanced galactic civilizations. Each protected zone requires barriers, monitoring equipment, intervention capabilities, and maintenance systems that consume enormous amounts of energy and materials. The infrastructure investments represent significant commitments for galactic authorities. Personnel requirements for managing galactic zoo operations would involve millions of specialists across multiple species with expertise in different aspects of primitive civilization development. Training programs, coordination protocols, and quality control systems would require sophisticated educational and management hierarchies. Legal frameworks governing galactic zoo operations would contain millions of specific regulations addressing different species types, development stages, intervention scenarios, and emergency protocols. The complexity of interstellar law covering thousands of different civilizations would require specialized legal systems and enforcement mechanisms. Scheduling coordination for intervention activities across multiple protected species would require optimization algorithms that balance competing priorities, resource limitations, and development timeline requirements. The scheduling complexity exceeds any management system that humans have developed for organizing large-scale projects. Risk assessment for each protected civilization requires continuous monitoring of potential great filter scenarios, external threats, internal conflicts, and technological development risks. The risk management systems must predict and prevent civilization-ending disasters while maintaining the appearance of natural development. Quality control systems would ensure consistent application of protection protocols across thousands of different monitoring teams operating throughout the galaxy. Standardization requirements, performance evaluations, and compliance monitoring would require sophisticated oversight systems. Emergency response capabilities must be maintained for handling unexpected crises that threaten protected civilizations. Rapid deployment of intervention forces, crisis management protocols, and damage control systems require prepositioned resources and coordination networks throughout galactic space. Data analysis systems must process information from thousands of developing civilizations to identify successful development patterns, predict optimal intervention timing, and improve protection protocols based on accumulated experience. Budget management for galactic zoo operations would involve resource allocation decisions affecting thousands of star systems over thousands of years. Financial planning, cost-benefit analysis, and investment prioritization would require economic systems designed for managing galactic-scale projects. The mathematical complexity of coordinating all these systems simultaneously suggests that galactic zoo management represents one of the most sophisticated organizational achievements in cosmic history. But this vast management system serves a specific purpose, preparing selected species for graduation to galactic citizenship when they demonstrate readiness for cosmic responsibilities. Humanity's observation period is approaching its end, and the science suggests we're being prepared for final evaluation tests that will determine our readiness for galactic citizenship. Think about how research scientists evaluate laboratory animals before releasing them into natural environments. Researchers test social behaviors, survival instincts, problem-solving abilities, and stress responses to ensure subjects can thrive independently. Similar evaluation protocols would apply to species transitioning from protected status to galactic participation. Recent global challenges might represent carefully designed tests of human collective decision-making capabilities under stress. Climate change, pandemic responses, technological disruption, and social conflicts provide data about our ability to cooperate globally when facing existential threats. These challenges reveal whether humanity possesses the psychological maturity for cosmic citizenship. The timing of multiple simultaneous test scenarios suggests coordinated evaluation rather than random crisis emergence. Economic instability, political polarization, environmental degradation, and technological risks all intensified during the same narrow time period. This clustering indicates systematic stress testing of human civilization. Space technology development has accelerated to the point where humans will soon achieve interstellar travel capabilities. This technological threshold represents a critical transition point where protected species either graduate to galactic participation or face containment to prevent disruption of galactic civilization. Our graduation evaluation must be completed before we achieve interstellar travel. Artificial intelligence development presents another graduation criterion that advanced civilizations would carefully monitor. Species that create artificial minds without proper control mechanisms pose threats to galactic security. Human AI development patterns might be evaluated to determine our readiness for technologies that could affect other civilizations. Nuclear weapons proliferation and control demonstrate human capability for managing civilization and technologies responsibly. Galactic authorities would monitor how well humans coordinate global agreements about weapons that could destroy entire planets. Our nuclear stewardship provides evidence of our fitness for cosmic responsibilities. Environmental management capabilities reveal human understanding of planetary stewardship and resource conservation. Advanced civilizations would evaluate our ability to maintain habitable worlds without destroying them through technological excess or poor planning. Climate change responses provide critical data about human environmental wisdom. Social cohesion under stress tests human ability to maintain cooperative societies when facing challenges that require collective action. Political polarization. Social media conflicts and cultural divisions reveal whether humans can work together effectively when galactic participation requires unprecedented global coordination. Scientific development patterns indicate human readiness for accessing advanced galactic knowledge without becoming dependent on external assistance. Independent discovery of fundamental physics principles demonstrates intellectual capability for contributing to galactic civilization rather than simply consuming benefits. Cultural maturity evaluation would assess human values, ethics, and philosophical development to ensure compatibility with galactic civilization standards. Moral progress regarding individual rights, social justice, and peaceful conflict resolution would be carefully monitored. Communication technology advancement reveals human readiness for interstellar contact protocols. Global information networks Language translation capabilities and cultural exchange systems demonstrate preparation for interaction with alien civilizations. The evaluation criteria would include specific behavioral milestones that indicate readiness for graduation from protected to participant status from galactic civilization. But graduation preparation requires understanding what happens next and how humanity can actively demonstrate our readiness for cosmic citizenship before final evaluation occurs. Humanity can actively demonstrate galactic citizenship readiness by achieving specific developmental milestones that prove we're prepared for cosmic responsibilities without external guidance. Global cooperation represents the most critical graduation requirement for any species seeking galactic citizenship. Advanced civilizations need assurance that humans can work together peacefully on planetary scales before trusting us with interstellar responsibilities. Achieving sustained international cooperation on climate change, nuclear weapons control, and resource distribution would demonstrate our readiness for cosmic participation. Environmental stewardship provides clear evidence of species maturity and long-term thinking capabilities. Successfully reversing climate change, protecting biodiversity, and developing sustainable technologies would prove human ability to maintain habitable worlds without external oversight. Galactic authorities need confidence that we won't damage other planets through poor environmental management. Scientific independence demonstrates intellectual maturity and capability for contributing original knowledge to galactic civilization. Achieving breakthrough discoveries in physics, mathematics, and technology through independent research proves we're ready to participate as equals rather than dependents requiring constant guidance and assistance. Peaceful conflict resolution shows psychological evolution beyond primitive tribal behaviors that threaten galactic security. Eliminating warfare, reducing violence, and developing effective international law systems would indicate human readiness for interaction with diverse alien civilizations without triggering dangerous conflicts. Technological responsibility proves human wisdom in managing powerful capabilities that could affect other civilizations. Safe development of artificial intelligence, sustainable nuclear energy, and controlled genetic engineering demonstrates our fitness for accessing advanced galactic technologies. Cultural maturity involves developing inclusive global identity that transcends local tribal loyalties while respecting diversity, building societies based on individual rights. Social justice and cooperative problem solving would show compatibility with galactic civilization values and standards. Economic sustainability requires moving beyond growth-based models that consume finite resources towards circular economies that operate within planetary boundaries. Developing economic systems suitable for interstellar scales proves readiness for managing galactic resources responsibly. Space exploration capabilities must be developed independently to demonstrate technological competence and readiness for interstellar expansion, achieving sustainable space habitats. Interplanetary travel and resource utilization proves practical readiness for galactic participation. Communication advancement through global translation systems, cultural exchange networks, and conflict mediation capabilities demonstrates preparation for contact with alien civilizations. These systems prove human ability to interact peacefully with diverse cultures and perspectives. Philosophical development toward cosmic perspective and long-term thinking shows intellectual readiness for galactic citizenship. Understanding our place in the universe, accepting cosmic responsibility, and planning for species survival across cosmic time scales demonstrates appropriate maturity. Educational systems that prepare citizens for galactic participation through scientific literacy, cultural awareness, and cooperative problem-solving skills show commitment to successful integration with cosmic civilization. The graduation timeline suggests humans have limited time to demonstrate these capabilities before formal evaluation occurs. Recent acceleration in global challenges might represent final testing scenarios designed to determine our readiness for cosmic citizenship. Proactive efforts to achieve these milestones could influence the evaluation outcome and demonstrate human commitment to earning galactic citizenship through merit rather than simply waiting for external approval. We began this journey asking why the universe seems so silent and discovered that the silence itself might be the answer. If the zoo hypothesis is real, then humanity stands at the threshold of the most significant transition in our species' history. Every challenge we face today, climate change, nuclear threats, artificial intelligence, global cooperation, might represent final examinations designed to test our readiness for cosmic citizenship. The evidence surrounds us in ancient texts, impossible artifacts, accelerated technology, and unexplained phenomena that could indicate we're living inside a carefully maintained nature preserve. Advanced civilizations might be watching our every move, waiting to see if we'll graduate from protected species to galactic participants. The choice is ours. We can continue stumbling toward an uncertain future, or we can actively demonstrate the wisdom, cooperation, and responsibility that cosmic citizenship demands. Our observers have been patient for thousands of years, but graduation day is approaching whether we're ready or not. What kind of cosmic citizens will we choose to become? Like and subscribe to explore more mysteries that challenge everything we think we know about our place in the universe.